All right, let's talk about a structure you've probably seen before. Maybe you even know it as the Mecca Cube. On the surface, it's a simple, black cube, right? But it's also one of the most powerful and sacred symbols on the entire planet.
I mean, just look at this. It's an absolutely incredible sight. This is the Kaaba, right in the heart of the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Every single year, millions of pilgrims are drawn here, creating this, well, it's like a breathtaking whirlpool of pure humanity and devotion.
So that's the big question we're going to tackle, right? How does this simple, cube-shaped building become the spiritual center of the universe for nearly a quarter of all the people on Earth? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, first things first. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is this thing we're looking at, and what can we learn just from its name?
So that nickname, the Mecca Cube, well, its proper name is the Kaaba. And, the name is super straightforward. In Arabic, Kaaba literally just means cube. And there's no question about it, this is the most sacred site in all of Islam.
And here's a great daytime shot. You can really see that classic shape that gives it its name, all draped in that iconic black and gold cloth. It's standing right there, smack in the middle of the Masjid al-Haram, which you probably know as the Grand Mosque.
Okay, so we know what it is, but the big question is why? Why is it so incredibly important? And this, my friends, gets to the absolute heart of Islamic faith and practice.
You see, at its very core, the Kaaba is known as the Bayt Allah. That translates to the house of God. Now, it's not like a literal house, it's more of a powerful metaphorical symbol, a representation of God's presence right here on earth.
And that sacred status, it has a huge impact on daily life. For Muslims all over the world, the Kaaba is what determines the Qibla. That's the single, unified direction they all face when they perform their 5 daily prayers.
This is such a cool way to visualize it. This old diagram shows you exactly how it works. No matter where you are on the planet, the direction of your prayer always points back to this one single spot in Mecca. It's just an incredible, powerful symbol of global unity.
And it's not just about daily prayer. The Kaaba is front and center during the Hajj, that massive annual Islamic pilgrimage. One of the main rituals is called the Tawaf. That's where pilgrims circle the Kaaba 7 times counterclockwise. It's a deeply spiritual act, and millions upon millions of people do it.
So where did all this come from? I mean, how did this ancient tradition even begin? To really get why it's so important today, we've got to take a look back at its sacred history.
And we're talking ancient origins here. According to Islamic tradition, the Kaaba was first built by the prophet Ibrahim. You'd know him as Abraham in the Judeo-Christian tradition, and his son Ismail. They built it as a house to worship one God. Later on, it became the Qibla, and today, it's still the destination for one of the biggest yearly gatherings of people on the planet.
Oh, and check this out. Tucked into its eastern corner, there's another super important piece of its history, the Hajra-e-Aswad, or the Black Stone. The belief is that it dates all the way back to the time of Adam and Eve, and if they can, many pilgrims will try to touch it or even kiss it as a sign of a divine blessing.
All right, we've talked a lot about the spiritual side of things, so now let's get a bit more physical and look at the actual anatomy of the Kaaba itself.
First off, how big is this thing? Well, it stands about 15 meters tall, so that's roughly 50 feet high.
And the base is around 10 by 12 meters, or about 35 by 40 feet. So, it's a good size for sure, but its power definitely doesn't come from being some kind of massive monumental structure.
Now, that famous black covering you always see, that's called the Kiswa, and it's just magnificent. It's made of silk and cotton, and it's covered in these intricate embroideries of verses from the Quran, all done in gold thread. And get this, they replace it with a new one every single year in a special ceremony.
But what's really fascinating is that for all that beauty on the outside, the inside is incredibly simple. It's just built from gray stone and marble. You've got 3 wooden pillars holding up the roof, the walls and floor are marble and limestone, and there are just a few silver and gold lamps for light. It really tells you that its power lies in its external symbolism.
The Kaaba's iconic shape has become so famous, it's even part of modern life. You'll see replicas made from building block sets that are really popular gifts, and lots of people have artistic models or even 3D printed ones as decorations in their homes. It just goes to show how deeply this symbol is embedded in the culture.
And so that really leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about. How can a simple cube, something built way back in antiquity, continue to have such a profound, unifying power over billions of people, acting as the spiritual center of their world,
Even today,